Hey guys, welcome back to this next episode. And in this episode, I want to implement the shotgun. To be honest, I already did import my shotgun and created the materials, and I also have an image, a thumbnail. So I will just guide you through this pretty quick. But I mean, you already know how to do this. It's not really like a big deal. But then I will also just completely make a new equip function, because now we have 3 different equip functions for every weapon, and then we need to make a check like, is pistol equipped? Okay, it's not. And then we check, is the revolver equipped? No, it's not. And then is the shotgun equipped? No, it's not. So, but when you have like 4, 5, 6 different weapons, this is quite a tedious process. Your blueprint is going to be really big, and you have like, no, it's a lot of stuff we have to consider, and it's not really performant. If you have 2, like, let's say you have 3 weapons, it's not a big deal. But if you have 6, 7, 8 different weapons, you have like 6, 7, 8 different branches, or you need like 7, 8 different valid checks. This is not really good. So I want to delete all those equip functions, and we start fresh. Okay. But before we do this, let me just show you my new weapon. So what you do, the same stuff you did with the revolver. Okay. So just go back to this episode when we add the revolver, but I will show you in just a quick walkthrough again. So right click on your master item, add a child blueprint class, and then you have this one. When you import it, let's open the full blueprint editor. When you import your skeletal mesh, so for every weapon, as I told you before several times, I always use a skeletal mesh. Okay, so make sure when you import it, you can already click when you drag it inside your Unreal Engine content drawer. You drag it inside, you get a window, and then you can already decide force import as static mesh. So you can just do that. Okay, and then also I updated the E item type to shotgun and shotgun bullets. So make sure that your item type is always updated. And then when you open this children blueprint, your new children blueprint, in my case it's called BP item shotgun, you can get this thumbnail image. Just pick this one. You get your skeleton mesh. You can just give it a name and a description. For the weapon, again, it's the stack and max stack here is 0 and 0, so we are not considering those things here for all weapons. And the item type is, of course, the shotgun. It's not a healing item, and health replenishment, of course, is 0, and it's not stackable. Then also, you go into the skeleton mesh, and then you set this one too. Make sure that when you create your materials for this one, you just open up your shotgun here, and you assign those materials. Otherwise, you always have to reassign. Okay. So yeah, this is my shotgun. And the next thing you do when you open the skeleton mesh, you click on this root node, because every skeleton mesh has, of course, a root bone. And then you can just right click again, like you did on the revolver, add a socket, and I call this one barrel. So every let's say every gun, every shootable weapon, I always name this one barrel, because this is where I want to fire my spare trace, or in this case, maybe line trace, okay? And yeah, this is it. Make sure that the x-axis, so the red one here, is the forward vector, okay? So it goes through, and then you're good to go. Next thing you need to do when you did all this, okay? You also should go into your thumbnails, okay? So for every stuff, let me go to weapons. For every mesh or skeleton mesh you import, and we are using for our inventory, we have an image. But make sure that you open all those images, all those thumbnail images, and you put the texture group to UI and compression settings to user interface to D, because we are saving performance, okay? This is pretty important that you do this. And then, let me just close this BP item shotgun, so our children blueprint from our masterclass. And then we open up our widgets. So I have all my widgets here now in my folder. And we open up the first one we always do is the AC inventory, of course. So I have this equip weapon stuff. We will just delete this, and we will start fresh with the equip weapon. But once you implemented your new weapon, make sure that you check all those macros. So this one is not affected, this one is not affected. The current stack and stackable is not affected, because this one should be 0. As I told you already, this one is not stackable, so it can only go here for every weapon. If you import the bullets, of course, then yes, you have a current stack. You set your current stack. This is the amount you pick up, and of course stackable is checked. Okay, then for bullets it would only loop all the time this way. Okay, but this is not about this episode now, it's just for the weapon now. So weapon goes here, stackable is false, we add, and then you can already see here in our grab function, make sure that you drag your shotgun bullets and you destroy the actor. Before you do this, you create a boolean And the boolean, you set this boolean here and you set this to true. And you connect this one. This just means that in my case, the boolean is called is shotgun in inventory because we need to have this. Once we pick it up, our shotgun is set to true. So is shotgun in inventory is set to true, okay? It makes sense. But later when we use a storage, okay, so we cannot scrap or we cannot trash items, but I want to implement a storage, so we can just completely put this into a new, basically like a new storage system. Then of course they will also get updated. This one then would be false every single time we put something like this in storage, and then at the same time we have a boolean is shotgun stored. Yes, once we store it, yes. So this is also something we have to consider. But as of right now, we only have this in our inventory when we pick it up. Okay, so make sure that this grab item function here is connected. Then after this, we add, double click here, we add the item to inventory. This one is always the same. This just means this particular item we collide with gets converted to a class, and this class is getting to our inventory. We add this one to our inventory list. Then we just check if our WB inventory is valid. So when we just open our inventory, we know that we have here our inventory. We get the information, transfer this to our inventory, and then we see, yes, we clean up our inventory to avoid duplicates. Then we loop. This means we loop several times. If it's a stackable item, then we loop this one depending on how many we have in our current stack. But in this case, we can just ignore this for our weapon because it will always be false because it's never a stack. Okay, so this pure cast, basically this pure function, is always false. Okay, I will not go into detail again what this is. Okay, I told you in the previous episode. So you can just ignore this one. Then it's false, so it's not stackable. Then we know that we create a slot, and our inventory slot has a reference here, and also we add this to our max slots. You remember this stuff here is our max slot. Every time we pick something up and we put this into our inventory slot, this one gets updated, which means we can only pick up 8 pieces of items, or like 8 units, I should say. And so this one is pretty simple. You don't need to re-evaluate this one at this moment, but this is pretty important. F update slot. Okay, you also need to update this. And now this one is pretty important. You did update this item type, okay? And then you're going to have your new weapon here, but this one is not connected in your case. So what you need to do, you need to copy an already existing box. So just copy, like for example this. Let's go to, this is what you have anyway. Set bullets, a set pistol magazine amount. Just copy this one, okay? Copy this one and put it down here, so you have space. And then just connect your new weapon into this newly created box, okay? So in this case, my shotgun, I did copy this box here, give it a new color, and of course give it a new description, pretty important. And then my shotgun, my newly created weapon, is added here, so the set brush from texture, which means our item image gets updated, okay? And also make sure the texture here is also connected. So the item image from our class defaults is connected again here. And then we check if we have a number, so a stack visible or not. Yes, our weapon is not stackable, but that doesn't mean that we can, when we reload, that we want to project an integer, like 5 bullets, 6 bullets, and so on and so forth. This is also what we need to project to our gun, even if it's not a stackable item. This means that when you copy this, you are going to have a macro. And this macro, of course, you have to delete this one, and you have to create a new one. Okay, so just make sure that you create a new macro, and when you go inside this macro, this should look like this. You get from your AC inventory, you get your new integer, and you put this new integer into this. And also when you click on the output, you rename this one properly. Okay, in my case, my integer here is shotgun bullets and magazine. Now you're wondering like, why I don't have those integers. What is this? It's pretty simple. Okay, I will show you in a bit. Just make sure that when you have this macro, which you cannot really complete now because you don't have those integers, okay? I will show you in a bit. But just in order for you to understand that we project this stack, this integer amount, if it's greater than zero. Sorry. Yeah. So this means if it's zero, so it's greater, 0 is false. Then yes, the text is blank. Our weapon is empty. Okay, so this is just pretty simple. This is just our making our stack amount visible, okay? But now, regarding those integers you don't have, right? So just make sure you connect this one. And let's just jump back for a second, okay? Make sure that, in this case, my shotgun is out, my new weapon. Make sure that you have a category, and you need a boolean shotgun equipped, or in your case, maybe it's a rifle, or maybe it's something else. Rifle equipped. Make this one. By default, it's false. And then is your weapon in inventory? Question mark. By default, it's false. Also make a BP item and your weapon. So you create, also you click on the plus, and then you can search here. Search for your children blueprint, which in my case is the BP item shotgun, or the one you just created, and make an object reference, okay? Just a single object reference. So search for your children blueprint weapon. This is pretty important because we need this reference later when we spawn our shotgun to our hands. Then, next to that, we also want to prepare our bullets for our newly created weapon. So in this case, make a new category as well. Just in case if you're wondering how can I make a category, just click, for example, on your boolean, in this case, shotgun equipped, and then you can just go into category and just rename this one to your weapon. And then Unreal Engine is going to make a folder automatically for you. And the same you do when you create an integer, for example. Let's open up the revolver bullets. Just create an integer and call the first integer, in my case, shotgun, or in your case, maybe a rifle or something else. In my case, shotgun bullets picked up. Okay, this is important. This is the first integer you do. The new weapon bullets picked up. Create this integer and go into the category and call this one new weapon bullets, okay, or your weapon bullets. Then create another integer, shotgun bullets in magazine. Then another integer, shotgun bullets for reload. And last but not least for bullets, shotgun MT question mark. Those 4 variables, you put those inside this shotgun category. You can just, when you rename this one to a new category, all those things, you can just drag and put it here. Okay, good. So make sure that you have this new weapon and also your new weapon bullets. And it's exactly like this, okay? Now you can go back to the inventory slot. Now you can go back into this macro. And now you can get your new weapon bullets in magazine. It's really, really important that this one is in magazine. And then you can drag this one here, as I told you before, and click here and rename this as well, okay? So make sure this one is replaced for the new integer. This one is named properly, so update your name. And also update your macro name, which you find here. Mine is called get shotgun bullets in magazine. This is what we want to project in this episode, in magazine. And then our magazine integer here by default is 0. We don't have anything. This means when we pick this weapon up, we don't have any bullets. So our weapon is just blank, okay? If you want to have some ammunition right from the beginning, just set this value. Click on this. So of course in the AC inventory, in magazine, and just set this one here if you want by default, just to test things out. But in my case, I don't want to have any ammunition here. So you can just give it temporarily just a value of like 5, 6, 7, depending on how much. So this just means that when you pick it up, you will have some ammunition, okay? But consider we also need to build the logic in order to use this one. Okay, good. Now you will be able to pick up your weapon, and now you will be able to see your weapon in the inventory, but you cannot equip it. You can only see it, okay? So what you need to do, you need to go inside the WB item menu, and you need to update your equip button, okay? So drag from here and get from your AC inventory, your F equip function. And now you're like, yeah, but I don't have an equip function. Yes, this is what we are about to do together, okay? So just make sure that you also update this once we do our equip function, okay? And also this is something we will just, as I told you before, I will just delete all this function here, and I will also delete the equip shotgun, equip revolver, equip pistol. I want to delete this, and I will have just one master function for equip, and we will avoid using several branches, okay? So I already have an idea how to do this. Good, but this is not everything, okay? We still need to do some stuff. Also go into your RE character, and you have to duplicate all those things. I already did that. And it's not really hard, because we already did this in the previous episode for our revolver episode. So just go back into the episode called Add Revolver, and I will show you in detail how to do this. You're just copying all those things. For example, Here we have those 3 checks, which is not really optimized, but we will optimize this in the future episode. So I will find a way to like avoid doing 3 checks, okay? But just for now, it's fine to see things working out, okay? For now, it's fine. So if our pistol is equipped, we know you have this already. If it's not, we check our revolver is equipped. Yes, true. And then you have this one, this one, this one, this one, boom, boom, boom. And you update all this stuff. And then you do another boolean here, another macro is called is, and then your new weapon equipped, so you do another macro, okay? And the macro is exactly the same, only the reason here we open this is because new weapon equipped, and then is new weapon in inventory, so you make sure it's an AND, okay? So let me just show you, but you already know this, okay? New weapon equipped, question mark, new weapon in inventory, question mark, both needs to have an AND, so they're both true together at the same time, and then you connect that one. That's it, okay? Nothing else to worry about. Good. Yeah. Then, when we know, in this case, yes, our new weapon is equipped, it can only be this new weapon, or those weapons, so it can only be this one here, when we do the last check. Player can shoot shotgun, I open this one up, show you, replace the shotgun empty, like replace this one with your new boolean, in my case shotgun empty, not. This one always stays, okay? So update this one. Then update your shotgun empty, so empty shotgun SFX, update this one as well. Then if it's true, when we can shoot, we go here directly, shotgun bullet waste. So you also copy this macro, call it shotgun bullet waste, replace this integer with your new weapon in magazine, and also from the AC inventory again, the same integer we get. You just replace this, and the same integer we set here. So you have to replace this, this, and this, according to your new weapon, which is always the in magazine integer. Okay, cool. Then make a new fire montage. If you have new weapon firing animations, it makes sense that you make new montages for it, okay? In my case, I have the aim pitch, which is 0, means it's shooting straight. So I have a shooting straight montage, a fire montage. And I have up montage, so +1 is always up, my aim pitch. And I have an aim down, -1 is aim down, so I have a down firing montage. When you're like completely lost, just watch the beginning of my episode, like the episode number 2 and 3 and 4. Just watch those, and you see I explain to you and show you in detail how to set this one up and how to create your montages, and how to do the aim pitch and your blend spaces and your blah 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 blah, all this stuff. Okay, it's not that hard. So you just need to copy all those and replace the new stuff. And then also, of course, the F shotgun sphere trace. So make sure you copy like this sphere trace, rename this to your new weapon, and you use this one because you have to replace this children blueprint. This is the actor blueprint, okay? This one is the actor blueprint. And you're like, I don't have this one. No, you must have this one, because I told you before, in the AC inventory, make sure that for your new variable, you have this one, the children blueprint. Of course, you have this one, okay? So if you're like, oh no, I can't find it, I don't have this one. Yeah, it's because you didn't listen here. You didn't listen to what I told you before. So please make sure you have this. And then skeleton mesh, it's the same, just reconnect it. Barrel, according to your new weapon, you have this socket, so make sure this socket, according to your new weapon, here is barrel. If you have no idea and you're completely lost again, open up your skeleton weapon, your skeleton mesh weapon, and check your socket, okay? It needs to have this name. Otherwise, your trace is not going to work. This is it, okay? This is it. If you want to change the distance of, like, if you just, like, for example, a shotgun has a low distance, you can just maybe reduce this one to maybe, like, I don't know, 300 or maybe 500. I don't know. Just reduce this one. In my case, it's a shotgun, so I just want to reduce this one a little bit. But this is something I will tweak later. Okay, and then last but not least, you have a macro, and then you have this, you have this fire cooldown macro. Just copy this one as well, rename this one, so it's always the same. Click on this one, duplicate, rename. Click on this one, duplicate, rename, and update all those with your new variables, with your, the new booleans and the new integers. And this is it. This is everything you need to do. Shotgun fire cooldown. You can change the cooldown here, okay? So for shotgun, I just increase the cooldown to 1 second, so I can shoot even slower, or I have to shoot slower. But this boolean can shoot is always the same, okay? For every weapon. And then you're almost good to go. What you have to change as well is when you go into your shooting montages, Maybe you're still using the same shooting montage, okay? Then you don't need to update this. But if you have a different weapon and you have a different shooting montage, or maybe you're using a knife and you have like a slash or like a knife hit montage or something like this, you need to go here in your fire montage. You need to open up your montages and you need to make sure that this one here also has the shoot anim notify. We did set this one up before. You need the anim notify shoot montage. In this case, it would be the I renamed this one to anim notify shoot. So in this case, it would be shoot pistol or something like this. I renamed this one to shoot because if I just right click here, open this blueprint, this anim notifier, you can see I also make this check. Is pistol equipped? If yes, I'm doing this for my pistol. Okay, you have this already. If not, it's my revolver and I'm doing this. So I have a different emitter, I have a different sound, of course. So, but basically most of the stuff is just the same. And then here we make a third branch check, which is not really optimized, but as I told you before, we will optimize this later when we have time. But just now, we just want to see that everything is working fine, okay? But then our third check is our new weapon, our third weapon equipped. It could only be true. If this is not equipped, this can only be true. And then you just get also like your actor BP, your children blueprint, your new weapon. From there, the skeleton mesh component, yes, skeleton mesh component, because we need the socket, and we do the same stuff. So choose your emitter, your particles, and then your shooting sound according to your weapon. And this is it. Make sure location, rotation, everything is connected. Also here, the location, it's all from our socket, okay? Location, rotation, it's nothing new, it's just we update this, okay? So you can see pistol equipped, yes, no, revolver equipped, yes, no, shotgun equipped, yes, no. So this one, it doesn't do anything, okay? Because we only have those 3 weapons. Good, so for now, it's fine doing 3 checks, temporarily, it's okay. But now, we need, as I told you before, we need an equip function. So, let me delete this equip function. Okay, now we need to think. Now I'm done explaining, and now we are trying to build a new function. So let me just get rid of this, no, not this one, equip pistol. Let me just get completely, no, let's just leave this one, so I can just maybe like double check, just in case if I forget something. But I don't need the equip revolver, I don't need the equip shotgun, and I don't need the equip weapon. I want to completely rebuild this one. Let me see. It's still in use, which is weird. No, it's not. Actually, it's not. So, delete. Okay. So, let's completely create a new function. And we call this one F equip weapon. Because we want to have all weapons inside one function, and we want to avoid using several branches for every single weapon. I really want to avoid this. And there is a way. There must be a way. I was thinking about it, and it worked when I was trying to build this. Well, let's say it worked to some extent, okay? But we will have this complete in a couple of minutes. So I click on this variable here, on the plus, and we need, let's call this one current weapon. Okay, let's call this, oh, I still have this in my, sorry, let me just delete this. And why is he still giving me a warning? I'm not using this one. Okay, I'm using this one in there. You know what? AF equip pistol, why is that used? It is being used here. Sorry. Let me just, so this is something you don't need to do. Okay, compile, and then let me just get rid of this array. Because I was testing an BP item, like our weapon, as an array. But there's a much simpler way, in my opinion. So let me close this equip pistol, and now let's see what we can do. Let's call this one current weapon. And then we will choose BP master item. Okay? Let me see. I believe, yeah, I believe this is fine. Now, let's start by equipping our pistol first. And this pistol is always by default. So we get the pistol, get skeletal mesh asset, this one, you can delete this. So we are just building this from scratch. And I want to attach actor to component. Okay? So this is the first thing I want to do. But we need a target. Okay? And before we can do this, there's something missing. Okay? This means, let's just clean this one up. So you know what to, like, what's going on here. But we need to get player character. Okay. Get skeletal mesh. So from our character, we also have a skeleton mesh. So this is basically our character. And the skeleton mesh has, as you might remember, sockets. So go into the socket again, hand_R, and make sure you already have the pistol socket, you already have the revolver socket, and of course you also make inside the hand_R bone, right click, add socket. Okay, this is what you also have to do. And we did this already 2 times. And then you create another socket for your new weapon. And you can also just get inside this, get the preview asset and also get the preview animation. And then you can just see your new weapon and just place your weapon accordingly to your character. But we already did that with the pistol and the revolver, so this is nothing new for you, okay? This is pretty simple. So this is also something you have to do. Then from there, we need to, let's do from here, spawn actor from class, okay? We need to spawn actor from class. But when we see our old function, before we do this, we need a location, or let's call it, this is called transform. So what we need to do, let's just from here get socket transform. And then in this case, we want to spawn our pistol by default every time we press play by default. So this is what we need to do. Okay. This one. If we want to spawn the pistol, of course, BP item pistol. This is our class, our children. So make sure this is the right weapon. And then this is perfectly fine. From there, you have a return value. We already have this. Get this BP item pistol. You already have this variable, of course. And we set this one. So now this variable has data. Okay? Then just connect this one and also the target. And then straighten this one and straighten this one as well. The socket name again in this case is pistol. Okay? This is the one in your skeleton mesh character. The bone name hand_R, and you add this socket called pistol. And this is where your weapon is attached. Okay? And then you can just get the pistol equipped, set this one, and if this is successful, this is true. So just connect this one to make sure if it's true, this one is automatically set to true when it's connected. Good. Let's see if this is going to work. So we go into our BP character on event begin play, and we don't have this. Let's delete the equip pistol. We don't want to use this. Let's compile and save. So this one is updated. So this one is our here. This one is our function from our AC. So in this case, just get the AC, and from there you get this equipped weapon. And this is the first thing we do. Okay. So let's see if this is going to work out. And it is kind of, but we have a bug. We did something wrong in our BP item pistol default scene route. So let's make sure that we don't have any bugs here. Yeah. Snap to target, and snap to target. Compile and save. Let's check again. Okay, so this is a different bug. So I missed something. Do we need to cast? Let me see. Maybe. I don't think we need to cast. But maybe we do. Maybe we do need to cast always. I try to avoid this. Yeah, because this one is not, this has no value. Let me see. This is why the pistol is not moving, because our mesh is not valid. So let's get the display name of this skeleton mesh. No, we have information. We have. The default. Oh, sorry. Now I should read the default scene root. Let's see here. It is the right one. Okay. So this one is right. Let's do get skeletal. Let's cast, because this is the right one. Let's cast to BPRE character. Get skeletal mesh asset. And let's see. So you can see it is the same. It is the same. But let's just try to cast. Pretty quick. Boom. And boom. And let's see. Okay. We don't need to cast. Sorry, my fault. Okay. Let me just copy this one. This skeleton mesh. Skeleton mesh component. Yeah, this is the reason. Okay, sorry for this. Parent. Of course it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to work, because I am stupid again. The target is the pistol. I wasn't paying attention to this. The pistol is the target, but the pistol skeleton mesh cannot be the parent at the same time. Of course. The mesh, our character mesh. Sorry for that. I wasn't paying attention to this. So of course this makes sense. And let's just do this. And then you can see, so initially we don't even need to cast. Okay, this is what I told you before. Sorry. So you can see we don't need to cast initially. But now you can see it should work. Boom. And it is, okay? So everything is fine. And then we can just continue. So if this is always playing by, like on event begin play. So this is always playing. We don't need to cast, okay? This means that I want to set this pistol. So this is our newly created actor blueprint, our item blueprint, okay? So I want to transfer this information. So every time we attach, okay, let's say every time we spawn this particular item, I always want to transfer this into this variable. And this is how we can always have the last, or like the current weapon. And from there we can always just detach. We don't need to make several checks. We can just use this one, is valid. Maybe we don't even need this valid. We can just detach this one straight away. But I'm not really sure. Let me just see if this one is giving us this BP pistol blueprint. Let me just see. Sorry. It is BP item pistol. This means this is working. So we can use this variable, okay? So make sure that you connect this one after our pistol, okay? So this one is filled now with information, and we didn't have this information before. So what we can do now is, we can basically now get our current weapon. So get the information of our current weapon, and from there we can see is valid. But initially it's not valid, okay? On event begin play, this one is always empty. It has no data, okay? So if it's not valid, we will on event begin play do this every single time we start a new map, or which means event begin play is getting fired. So, but when we want to equip a different weapon during the game, we know that this one is already valid, okay? So because after event begin play, this one gets valid. So then when we equip a weapon, let's say from our pistol you want to equip another weapon, then this is valid because we are doing this manually a second time, okay? So initially it happens automatically, and when we click on it from our item menu, this one has then already the current weapon. And this is where we we did detach, right? Detach from actor from component. But this is not really clever. I want to not remove from parent, sorry, destroy actor. If you don't get this, you can just drag from here, destroy actor, okay? So if this is valid, then please destroy this actor. The last actor we did set, okay? So always when we press equip, the last or like the current weapon will always get destroyed, okay? Good. But the thing is here, this is also something we do maybe in the end of the episode. This current weapon and then destroy actor, we will later do this in our anim notify. We will create an anim notify called destroy weapon, and then when you have a holster montage, like an equip montage or like an holster unholster montage, and maybe then you're grabbing the shotgun from your bag or you're grabbing it into your pocket, then you can see from your montage, your holster or unholster montage, you can see okay, now she's grabbing behind her back, or now she's grabbing into her pocket. And this is the moment I want to have an anim notify. And in this anim notify, you get from the AC, you get the current weapon, and you destroy the actor. This means the weapon will only vanish during this particular moment, and not instantly. Okay, so this makes sense. Maybe if you're smart enough, you can already set this one up. We don't need to do it now, but I will do this later when we have an equip montage, because as of right now we only have a reload montage, but I also want to have like an holster and unholster montage for every time we equip, and then we can use this one as an anim notify inside our montages. Good, so this is already explained to you. Good, and this time let's start to think for a bit. Let's just get this equip function now into our item menu, widgets, item menu. Okay, let's get this one and try this. So for example, when we click on our revolver, okay, why can't we just from here, let me just clean this one up, this looks horrible. Let me do like so. So let's just from our revolver, fire this one. Not inventory here, AC inventory, F equip weapon. This is our newly created weapon. And this one looks weird, so let me remove this. So let's just try this in this case when we have our pistol already, but now we will manually equip our revolver. So what needs to happen here if we equip our revolver from our inventory? This weapon should be destroyed. So this is what I want to check, okay? So hopefully, now we know on event begin play our pistol is set. And now let's equip this one. And yes, we can see, now it's hard to see, but our weapon is gone, our pistol is gone. So this is exactly what I wanted. This means this value here is working fine. We don't need to make a check. We don't need to have several branches on what weapon is equipped right now and what not, which is pretty awesome. And we are not even casting, so this means this equip function is now highly optimized. And you can have like hundreds of different, you can have hundreds of different weapons, okay? So now, how can we equip the revolver now? We can just get all this logic and do it here. But in my opinion, what's more clever is we get the held item, but the held item has no information here. The held item only has information here, because inside our inventory we loop our inventory, and out of this one we get the single item. But we are not doing it here, so this means this one has no value as of right now. So what we need to do, we need to get our inventory. Let me just try that. For each loop. And let us see, let's print the inventory. And when we equip the revolver, because we put it here, when we equip the revolver, we should hopefully get the revolver display name, our class display name, hopefully. Oh my god, and we do actually. Good. We do. This means, oh sorry, I'm still playing. This means that this is nice for us, so we can actually use this value. Let's get the held item. You have this already. Just in case, if you not have this, you can just right click here and promote a variable. It's the same. So we set this. Now the held item has information. Okay. You also can do, let's do a quick check. Let's hard code this. Let's get the AC. So you can see I'm doing this step by step. Get held item. Let's see if we get information when we hard code this one. Print and set this one. So this must be revolver, right? So press F, there's nothing. Let me equip the revolver. Oh, sorry. I need to set the focus to the inventory so I can go back. Equip. Now if I press F, I have the revolver. From there, okay, this is good. From there, we get, I have no idea, and I don't want to loop that. I want to put it here. So when it's completed, it's enough when it's completed. So from there, maybe it's good to get the class defaults. Yes, I think this is perfectly fine. Because now, oh sorry, this one. Because now, since we have information to our held item, because we loop our inventory, then we have information here. We can actually now use our enum, our item type, right? Let's do switch on enum. And then we know, oh my god, we still need to go up. And now we can, let's just do like so. Okay. So now we can see if we click on the next weapon. So let's connect this one here. If we click on the next weapon, we should get. Let's do here. Let's do a print of the type. Yeah. So when we equip our revolver, we should get the item type. And we do revolver. This is our item type. Okay, let's do the same stuff, equip weapon now. Let's just copy this one, connect this one to the AC, and let's do shotgun. You don't even need to copy, you can just do it like so. You don't even need to copy. So when we equip our shotgun, we should have the item type shotgun. And we do. Yes, I'm quite happy about this, so we can move on. We can continue. And now we can just get the pistol, revolver, and shotgun. So all your weapons, you can just connect this one to this single function, which is a lot cleaner and much more performant. Because we, as I told you before, we don't even cast one single time for this, and we are not even checking several branches in order to detach, in this case destroy. So it's even more performant because we destroy. You have to also consider when you detach, the weapon is not visible anymore. It's gone. But technically, it's still in our world. It's technically it's still getting processed. So if you detach, 50 times in your level, this is stacking up and hitting your performance. So we always make sure that we remove, why I keep always using the word remove, destroy actor. Okay, destroy actor means it's completely removed. Good, okay, so we know that the current weapon is always getting destroyed automatically without even checking what kind of weapon is equipped. And now we can, if it is the, yeah, okay, so now we get the, let's get all this, okay, let's get all those 3 nodes. Now we can do this for the pistol. So if it is the pistol, we can spawn actor from class. So we need to make sure that we do this for all those weapons. So for the pistol, it's still the same. It's still the same stuff. Pretty easy. And then we can just copy those. Also pretty easy. Okay, it's exactly the same. Oh, so I was just like, what? No, because I forgot the item pistol. Now. And parent, of course. Make sure not to forget this one, as I forgot previously. Do like so. And then this is pretty annoying. This is really, really annoying. Okay. So we know that we are doing this initially, okay? And our other weapons are also always false. They are not equipped by default. So this one is fine. We just need to set this particular pistol always, because it's spawning by default, to equipped, okay? So this is fine. But when we re-equip, so this one is valid, it's always basically like a re-equip weapon or equipping another weapon. This means that we always need to update our booleans. If it's the pistol, we do get the revolver equipped, and also we get, in my case, the new weapon, the shotgun equipped. So you get for every single weapon, you just set this one, and no worries, this is not a big deal. It's still saving us performance. It's not saving us performance, but it's not a big deal. We know that this one is false and this one is false. So this is pretty easy to handle for Unreal Engine, because it's just no and no. Good. So make sure that this one is always like this. Then we are done with this. Okay, we just copied this, and this is the same because it's still the pistol equip function. And then why don't we just copy all of this? And then we do a macro, collapse to macro, and call this one. This is not a function, okay? So equip pistol. Now it's just a macro to save space. So we don't need to see all of this stuff. And we can just do like so. Okay? And then if you just open this one up, you see, okay, this is the whole equip logic for the pistol. So it's pretty, okay, I know what's going on. Okay. So we're saving a lot of space. Good. So we copied that before we did our macro, and now we can just change this. Let's try and use this one with the revolver. So in this case, I have a different socket name because the revolver has a different position in our hands. BP item revolver. If I can type BP item revolver. This one is, of course, get this one, BP item revolver. Set this one. And just drag and swap. So this is the revolver. Connect this one as well. Oh, it wasn't, right? It wasn't connected, right? Let me see. Oh, it was. I was just not paying attention again. Okay. And then, yes, current weapon. This is pretty important. Otherwise, this one is not going to work. This. And why does it look so horrible? Now it's looking better. Let me straighten this reroute. Good. This is fine. I don't care. And so revolver, BP item revolver, revolver. This one is switched. This one stays. And we attach the actor to our revolver socket, which is in our hands. And then we just switch this one up. Okay. So make sure you just deselect all those, and then you just do this, because this is the revolver, is true. Okay, The return value just means if it's successful, this gets automatically changed to true. And this one stays false, okay? Good. Yeah, this is okay. This one should be fine. And then we can just connect this one to revolver. And then let's just do let me just re-evaluate. This is right, this is right. Yes, yes, snap to target, yes. Okay, and collapse to macro. And call this macro equip revolver. And I'm really happy about this because now this is really saving us performance. And it's a lot cleaner. And now you can put in 20 different weapons without any issues. Good. And this is the whole function here. Okay. Let's go and clean this one up really quick. And now I want to copy this one. Go back. Let's copy this here. And let me straighten this and also straighten the reroute. And then I want to do the same with the shotgun. BP item shotgun. And get the shotgun actor BP. Like so. Make sure it's all connected. Also the actor BP itself here is also connected. Then the current weapon is set to shotgun then after we equip. Then we know this one has to be removed. Not removed, destroyed of course. Shotgun is the socket name and it's in this case the shotgun. Good. So this one is true, both are false. Okay, and here, revolver true, pistol and shotgun is false. Okay, pistol true, revolver, shotgun is false. Alright, then let's just connect this one and do collapse to macro. And we call this one equip shotgun. And now look at this, like how clean this is. And we don't need to have like this huge branch check and branch and branch. We don't need to have this. We can just, thanks to our created variable here, we immediately know, okay, this one is the one. And this one is just completely getting destroyed. And we're saving even more performance, thanks to the destroy actor. Okay. Good. Let me see. This is all connected. Let me see if this one is working. I hope, but I'm not sure. So we can see our weapon. This is fine. We can see our revolver. And okay, so our shotgun is not getting spawned, but our revolver is getting destroyed. So at least this one is working. This one is working as well. Okay, so we still have to fix some things. I can equip this one, but then I cannot re-equip the pistol. Why is that? Okay, let me do like so. When we have this item menu, okay. When we have the item menu. From the item menu, let's get held item, not inventory, sorry. From the AC inventory, get held item. No, sorry. Set held item, because we don't have any information, okay? But before we do this, we need to do this in advance. Otherwise, we don't know what weapon it is. So before we actually do this, we need to equip is only pistol, shotgun and revolver, okay? So for all weapons. We need to get the held item. Boom, okay? We need to do like so. So before we actually equip our AC inventory, this one, this is the variable from our AC inventory, has information getting from our item menu. I hope this makes sense. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. So as of now, don't be confused with this initial setup. I will explain to you. This is not a big deal, so don't be confused. Just put this one. Let's just do it like so. And this one is of course the AC. And then we set the focus. Good. But don't be confused with this. You don't need that as of now. It's just a check. It's just a check to see if the return node, if we have an initial equip, so which happens automatically on event begin play, then this one is true. Okay. If not, when we equip manually from our item menu, we know that this one is always valid, and then this means our return node means it is not an initial equip. Okay. But for now, you can see we're not using it as of right now. Okay. Now let's see, when we go back to our AC inventory, let me just deconnect this, and now we get the held item. Let me put this into the inventory. Now we get the held item, and do print. So when we equip, we know this is the revolver, and this is the shotgun, and this is the revolver. Yeah. Okay, so this one is working. Nice. This means when we know it is not valid, it's initial equip, yes, always the pistol. If this is valid, we destroy the actor. But when we destroy the actor, we want to... why did I delete this? Am I stupid? Sorry for that. Then we can get the class defaults. Now it's working. Sorry for that. It took me like 30 minutes to realize this. It could be that easy, but sometimes I'm just confused. Or not confused, but I'm thinking too complicated. And so yeah. Now, from our item type, we do a switch again. Okay. Connect that one up, and then we can just open this one. Let us give ourselves a little bit more space, just in case if we just add more stuff later. And let me get this a little more beautiful. And now, this one, we have our macros, okay? If we click on pistol, we equip the pistol. If we, no, not this one. Equip the revolver, we equip the revolver. Let's do it tight. And no, not this one. Equip shotgun. Then of course we equip shotgun. And yeah, let's do also connect this one. The output. Just to make sure when we add something later, we can just continue from there. Okay? Because I want to have this return node also. So what we can do, every time we re-equip or we swap weapons basically, we know our return node is our initial equip. I call this boolean initial equip is false because this one is not an initial equip. Okay? This is only like this. The reason why I'm doing this is then behind our item menu. Once we did that, we know if this is false, then we can do something here if we want. So if it's a swap weapon, if it's initial, it's not getting triggered anyway. So it doesn't. It's not really important because this is always false. Because when we click on something, it's never an initial equip. Okay, but I just wanted to make sure that I have this just in case. Good, and then we should be good to go. Let's try this. So is it connected? Yeah. Let's try. Equip the revolver. Equip the pistol. Equip the shotgun. It looks a little funny. Yeah. He could have done a better job with the job, to be honest. Okay. Good. And you can see I can do like so, like so, like so, like so, like so, like so. And let's give ourselves let us give ourselves a sound. So why don't we just get a sound here? Sound 2D. So let's do a macro. Equip weapon SFX, okay? And just play sound 2D. So sound 2D is fine. No. Because, sorry, no, play sound at location. And we want to get owning, get actor location. Oh, we can use a macro inside a macro. This is awesome. We can actually. Pretty sweet. Didn't know that. Good. And let's do an output. And the sound is equip gun. And let me see the Q. Check always if it's when it's location. Override attenuation, and this one 400 and 1200 works well. Good. So we do have a sound playing at location. And then we can just get this sound, equip weapon sound effects, and just control click here, and then just do like so. Good. Sweet. Let's try again, and then I will explain to you how to change your animation, just in case if you need to. So, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Also, I gave myself 4 bullets here, just to see what's going on. So let me get back to you again here. I told you already. Let me close this. We don't need inventory stuff here. When we go back, you can increase by default just to test your weapon, because we don't have a reload function now. You go into the stuff we created in the beginning, and you just give yourself the shotgun bullets in magazine, or your new weapons in magazine. Okay, this is the one we did set up. Also in our player BP, when we can shoot or not. You can see here. This is the reason why. Player BP, shotgun equipped, player can shoot. This is just boolean check, and then shotgun bullet waste. So this one needs to be bigger than 0, and then this one gets subtracted every time we shoot. This is the only reason why we can shoot, and so give yourself a couple of bullets just to test things out. So this one, and give yourself like, I don't know, some bullets. And then you should see the number, alright? And just test things out. Okay. There is a bug, right? Right, let me see. In the animation. Yes. It's just a tiny bug. I'm pretty lucky, it's just a tiny bug. I forgot in the fire montage. This one is not up. Yeah, this is like what is going on here. I just switched up this montage. So our character, montages. Shotgun center is here. This is shotgun down. And this is not shoot pistol. Why is it shoot pistol? Sorry for that. Shotgun. Why is shotgun here? Shotgun up. Center, up and down. Okay, sorry for that. So let's do one more time, and then I will explain to you how to update your blend space. Yeah. Okay, and good. The thing is, blend space. Maybe it sounds overwhelming for you. It feels overwhelming, but it is actually not. You did all your booleans, right? You did your is equipped. Yeah, your new weapon is equipped. This is everything you need. This is everything you need. When you have this, okay, then you go into your character and you open up your animation BP, ABP, and then from there you just go to the event graph, get the AC inventory. So get AC inventory, this one. From there, you get your shotgun equipped or rifle equipped. Depends on what you have. And you create a new boolean inside the NMBP called exactly the same. Doesn't need to be exactly the same, but it needs to be a boolean, okay? And then you set this one, set. So this would be here. Connect this one to a valid, is valid just before this. So from your AC inventory, get is valid, not get is valid, question mark. Put this here, and then the shotgun equipped from your AC inventory, get is equipped from your AC inventory, and then this one here you created, set behind the is valid. And the AC inventory here is the input object. Otherwise, he will always try to search for the AC inventory, which is not really good. And then you're gonna have errors. Okay, so this one is pretty straightforward to explain. So make sure your shotgun equipped boolean from your AC get is then set to the NMBP equipped. Then you can close this one. Then you go to your NM graph here. Double click on this NM graph. This is what we did previously. So you have something like this. You can just go double click here into the locomotion. We already have this one and this one. What you do is you create a new state. Add state. Call this add state aim, and then the new weapon you need to have a new aim. Okay. So for a rifle you need to have a new aim, or a shotgun, or maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you have a crossbow or something. So regarding like you have a different anim set. Then you just, like you did with the aim pistol, you just drag out and connect this one here, like so, boom, and the same stuff you do from here, boom, okay? The condition here, when you double click on this, is not aiming, means this goes from here to here. So it is not aiming, means we are going from aim to back to idle. But when we go from idle walk and run to the new aim, we know that is aiming and our new boolean shotgun equipped, or your new weapon equipped. Both is aiming and new weapon equipped. Yes. Drag this one right so. And so this is set, okay? Those two things, rules, let me call it rules, are properly set. Then you open up your new state and you just copy a new aim blend space. And this is it. Okay, when you're like asking yourself, what do you mean aim, new weapon aim blend space? It's pretty simple. Sorry. It's pretty simple. You go into your animations, or in my case I have a folder, blend spaces, and you have this BS aim gun, or BS aim, you have this from before. Just duplicate this one. Okay? When you duplicate this one, let me open this one up. This is my duplicate. It's the blend space 1D, so we did set up an aim as blend space 1D. You have your aiming down. Here is the aiming center and aiming up. When you duplicate this, and you already did this like in my previous episode, in the beginning, you have this already. It's already snapped. You have already the pitch. It's already -1, so you don't need to change anything. You only need to delete your animations and put the new animations inside here. And this is it. Nothing else. And then you can just get this aim pitch, and connect this one up. Okay? This is everything you need to know. And now you're wondering like, oh, but I don't have the animation center up and down. What is this? I told you already in the second, I believe, second or third episode. I'm telling you, I'm explaining this in detail in my second episode, basically. But I will do it again for you, so you don't need to search for this episode. When you go to your animations, you probably have, when you have a pistol or weapon anim set, you probably will have an animation like this. Also, it's called aim offset sometimes, or maybe just look for an animation like this, just the straight aim, okay? But it will be, 99% it will be an animation. But we don't want to have an animation. We want to have this as a single frame. This means you get this kind of aim straight for your weapon, and then you just right click and duplicate. And you duplicate this 3 times. You call this aim center, aim up, and aim down. You have 3 duplicates. Really important, it's duplicates. Then you open up your first duplicate, and then you just click inside here, and you can remove all those frames. Remove frame 8 to frame 39. You do this, and then you click again, remove frame, and then there's maybe something like remove frame 2 to frame 5. You know, you do this several times until it's only frame 0 to frame 1. This is only one frame, and this is it. And then the next question you're going to ask yourself is, yeah, but I don't have an aim up and I don't have an aim down. Yes, this is why you duplicate this 3 times, and you can, for aim up and aim down, you can go to your spine, for example, spine 01 or spine 02, and you can just update them like so, okay? But let me just undo this. Okay. And once you did that, you, also, I'm not just changing the spine rotation. Of course, I'm also changing this one. Where is it? I'm just changing the spine a tiny bit. But most of the things you rotate up or down is the clavicle right, clavicle, and clavicle left here. And the clavicle left, which is basically the shoulder. This is what you rotate up. And you have to be really careful because you have to aim straight. So watch from every angle, watch carefully, and that you aim up and down and it's still straight. Okay? So you have to reposition and like rotate and move your clavicle and all that stuff, and the spine. Good. And once you did all those adjustments, then you click on key, press key, and then everything's updated. If you just press save, it's gone. You need to key all those rotations you did. Okay? Good. So this is how you do your stuff. And when you have shooting animations, so also you do the same for the shooting animations, up and down and center. And this is where you create montages out of it. And the montages, of course, are part of your player blueprint. So here, F, shotgun fire montage. Shooting function, fire montage. This is where you update your fire animations, montages, okay? So yeah, this is it. I hope you like this one, and see you in the next one.